Hello folks, Bronco Bob here with Texas Best Used Motorcycles. I've got here a really nice Mazda Miata, and it's a track car. I'm not a track car expert, but when I picked this up at the Motorsports Ranch in Crescent, Texas, I was able to run it on the track out there just to drive it, and I'll tell you, it's a lot of fun. In the corners, there's not much that will keep up with it. It really stays glued. On the straightaways, the big V8 cars are going to go around you. But this thing's been professionally built over 10 years ago out of a very nice low mileage Miata. You can see where the roll bar is tied into the body. It's got a lightweight battery. It's a gel cell. And there's a provision back here for I think it's called the cool shirt. The previous owner kept the cooler, but it plugs in. You put ice in it and water, and it goes through like a vest for hot Texas summers on the track. And I noticed from my old car days, it has all the little VIN stickers on the doors, the hood, and the deck lid, which indicates the original panels, so it hasn't been like crashed or rebuilt. The previous owner also put a posi rear end in it. He upgraded the shocks to Bilsteins. You can see right back here. I'm going to get it up on the lift when I get to the house. But Bilstein shocks in all four corners. posi in the rear. And Ebach, if I'm saying that right, sway bars. It's got some K1 racing wheels. And this guy didn't really have time to work on his vehicles, and he left it in a climate controlled garage at the Motorsports Ranch right here in Texas, in Crescent, Texas. And right next door was a shop that did basically race car maintenance. And all they've done to this car, they put a short throw shifter in it. They recently replaced the radiator with a really nice aluminum, says cool rod. He did a set of tires. They kept up with the brake pads, and every season he would have the oil changed. And these little Miatas are pretty bulletproof. They're really, over in Japan they're turbo, and here they're not. So the crankshaft and the bottom end is very, very durable. It's been a very reliable car. The exhaust is loud. It does have a header on it. And he said if you were going to race the car, and I think he called it Mazda spec, I think you might have to change the exhaust. But it has a very nice cage, all professionally done. A removable Momo steering wheel. It's got 50,785 miles. It was a low mileage car when they did the conversion. It's got some really nice aluminum race seats. And basically he and his wife would go out to Crescent, get the car out of the garage, and they would go out there and do husband-wife track days. She would drive in some cases and he would drive. But it was just something fun for them. They left the car out there. When they needed it maintained, they'd call the shop next door. They'd go over there and get it. They had the key to get in, and they could check the tire pressure. They could do the oil change, brake pads, whatever it needed. And the guy over there maintains a lot of race cars, so he knows what to look for. And he basically just gave him his credit card and said, if it needs it, do it. So the car really has been probably over-maintained for the way it's been driven. And when you're on the track, you're driving it, you're turning some RPMs. And on that particular track, I was pretty much in second and third gear almost the entire way around the track, and on the straightaway I'd get it in fourth gear. But the car's so light, it stops really, really good. It steers good. It's got a cold air intake. It's very sanitary under the hood. This particular owner of this car also has one of those AC Cobra Superformance cars, and all his stuff is maintained impeccably. Very, very particular about everything. They would change the brake fluid, they'd flush it, and do everything So when he showed up for a track day, the car was ready to go and he didn't have any issues. And he got to where in the last few years he only took it out a couple times a year, and he just kind of just stopped going out there. And I got the car from him, and again, I enjoyed it out there for a day. But with my grandkids and everything I've got going on, it's just not a fit for me right now. But it's really a great car, and it needs nothing. They also did several times, they did a track alignment where they reset the camber on the front and rear wheels to give it a optimum hookup on the track. And out there at Crescent, they have a short track and a long track. And the day I was out there, I was able to run on the long track. And I was running with some Porsches and some other cars. And I'm not a professional driver, but in the corners, this thing really just sticks like glue, and I had a lot of fun. But I'd have to wave them past me when we get out there on the straightaways. But it's a lot of fun if you're looking for a turnkey track Miata that's really in excellent condition, has really excellent upgrades, and you just don't need to do anything to it. The only exception might be tires. It's got hash marks on them. I don't know how far you can run them. They look slick, but I understand that's how they come. And again, I'm not a track expert. So maybe you might need to put a set of tires on it, track tires. But if you have any questions, give us a call. I'm Bronco Bob with Texas Best Used Motorcycles. Oh, and the pizza on the side, he has a Mama's Pizza, a couple of franchise stores. So it used to say Mama's Pizza, and I took off the Mama's and I left the pizza. And I tell you, it was fun when I was running on the track because everybody was calling me Pizza. Hey, Pizza, nice car. And there was a couple Miatas out there that I saw, and man, they wanted to come see this car, and I opened the hood and they were just like, wow, that's really nice. And their cars were okay, but they just weren't nice like this. And this car really, I hate to say it's never been raced because it's been on a track, but it never was in like a sanctioned race, or he never raced for money. It was all just pleasure driving on the track with him and his wife, and just comparing times and racing against the clock, if you want to call it that. But there's no rub marks on the car. It hadn't been bumped into other cars. There's no damage, and the car still has the original panels and the original paint. And I asked him about the hardtop, and he said he's never taken it off. But a lot of guys I see run these without the tops on them. It does have a nice, really nice roll cage. I don't know if you can see it good in the video here. There's the kill switch. And again, I apologize for this video being so long. That's the fuel door release. Just trying to give you a good look at this roll cage. But the welds are very nice. It's just very, very well done. And there's a little logbook here. Shows mileage. Here's 40,815. Changed the diff, the tranny with Redline oil. Mobile synthetic oil change. Some track times. Temperature. Here's tire pressure, 33 rear, 35 front. Dates and times. Flip-flop the tires. Just really, really nice little logbook. Oh, and here's, I don't have a lot of receipts. Here's one. Oh, this is to put the rear differential, install the Positrack unit. $1,595. It says a used posi unit to a new differential assembly. That was done by Motorsports Enterprises Racing in Granbury, Texas. But this all comes with the car. There's a little stopwatch in here where you can they can kind of check each other's times. And I think the track had tools out there where they could actually tell you your exact time. But there you have it. If you have any questions that I can't answer, I'll find out, because I'm good friends with the previous owner of the car and he knows all about the car. This extra padding was put in here basically so when his wife drove the car, she could sit a little farther forward, and they'd move this pad over to the driver's seat. It's got a fire extinguisher. And there you have it. And I like the plates on the back say zoom zoom. I actually got it titled in my name, and I got some vintage tags because of the age of the car. You can run vintage tags in Texas, so technically I can drive this on the street. The tires aren't that street legal, and I really didn't drive it on the street much. There's some more of those VIN stickers. Every door, every panel has that factory Mazda sticker, and that means it's got the original panels. I just remember that from my car days. But again, sorry to bore you with the length of this video. I'm going to get some pictures underneath the car so you can see how nice it is. But somebody's going to get a really excellent turnkey Mazda Miata that's just ready to hit the track. The only thing it needs, it's due for an annual oil change. If you pull the dipstick, the oil's clear and clean and looks brand new, but it's been in there for a year, so it's time for it to be changed. But thanks for looking. Thanks for your time. I'm Bronco Bob, and I'll answer any questions I can about this cool little car. You know, I probably should start it and let you hear it. The exhaust is pretty loud. I want to make sure it's... Oh, I need to get the key. Sorry. Well, maybe I put it in my pocket. Yep, I found the key. Yeah, let's go ahead and start it up. Sorry to not be very organized here. Well, I'll do another video driving the car. I think that'd be better anyway. That way you can hear it run, watch it shift through the gears. But have a great day. I'm Bronco Bob, wishing you happy trails, and you need to buy this little Mazda and take it home and have a lot of fun with it. Have a great day.